Hey guys, it's Jolene from Smith's Nature Friendly Farms. We're hanging out on the patio today and I thought we'd talk a little bit about mini melons. All right guys, I really love growing mini melons. They are really cool. They grow really prolific on a vine. You actually get a ton of them, so I love growing them because if you are a market seller, it's fantastic to have a ton of product. Lots of people pick them up at the market and wonder what they are. And there's quite a few different varieties. So I thought we would take a look at 3 varieties in particular that I grew this year and talk a little bit about each one and tell you a little bit about where you can get them. Okay, so these are our mini melons, the 3 different varieties. We have the rich sweetness melon, which is this guy over here. We have a mango melon and we have a tiger melon. The tiger melon and the rich sweetness are actually often confused. They are actually totally separate, but they do look a lot alike, but the patterns are quite a bit different. Now, all of the fruit that we have in front of us here today is looking a tad rough. It took me forever to pull it together to get a video together, so they've been sitting on my counter, so they look terrible. In addition to that, I had to wait for this rich sweetness melon. I had these 2 first. I actually had this guy very first. He's really in rough shape. And then I had to wait on the rich sweetness melon to come up so I could have all 3 to look at. The vines haven't done well this year. We've had heavy rains in Mississippi, so a lot of the garden plants are getting washed out and dying off. So my melon plants, the actual vine would die before the fruit was truly ready. So these actually aren't in the full size. I would say they'd probably be a bit bigger, probably more a mandarin orange size, a tad bit bigger. And I'm going to say like those larger mandarin oranges. I know you can get some really tiny ones, but they don't get as big as a normal melon by any means. They are a mini melon, but they do get a tad bigger than you're looking at here today. So flavor-wise, overall, these guys have really great flavor. The key is to keep them on the vine until they like fall off the vine, and then you eat them within a couple of days of that. They don't have a long shelf life. They'll smell very cantaloupe-y or honeydewy. And you'll want to eat them within a short period of that time frame, otherwise they start to turn quite quick. Now, when I sell them at market now, I've sold the rich sweetness. I haven't sold the other 2. They were new to me this year, and then they didn't grow as well this year. They would normally grow better, I'm sure. I believe that's more an issue of weather than it is anything to do with the seed quality on these guys. But the rich sweetness I grew the previous year, and they were insanely prolific. Like every couple of days I had 10 or 12 melons from 1 or 2 vines, and the people at the market really like them, so they seem to be quite popular. You had to make sure you were picking them right where you could smell that strong melony smell. That was the best point to sell them. So they're really good, like I said, prolific, and overall normally with less rain are easy to grow. And you can see we've got these guys. All of these came from Bakers Creek, so I don't know if there's other places that are selling them, but these guys we got specifically from Bakers Creek. And lastly, don't confuse the rich sweetness and the tiger melon or the tiger melon. They are very different. Overall, their taste, they do have variances in taste, but overall I kind of find I've had a hard time tasting the difference between a lot of melons, so I may not be the best person to comment on that one. Super fun to grow, great if you have kids because you get lots of little melons and you can go out and find them every day, and they're so colorful in the garden. All right guys, that's 3 really fun mini melons to grow in your garden, and great for your market, if you're a garden marketer, or just fun to grow in the yard and let the kids pick when they're ready. Awesome guys, well that's it. Be friendly, be kind.